Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Danny Reardon. Danny Reardon is the co-founder of EFX ALGO. Founded by Danny Reardon, Bogdan Padua, and Joe Amara, EFX ALGO is an innovative, fully automated trading bot designed to provide 100% hands-free, high-return investment opportunities by transforming yearly gains into monthly profits. Previously exclusive to an educational network and now available to the general public. The software is designed to manage investments and execute trades in the financial markets without the need for manual intervention. Well, good afternoon, Danny. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you making the time, Danny. I know you're hailing out of the East Coast there in North Carolina. I'm kind of centered right here in the U.S. in Kansas City, so I get to do some virtual travel quite a bit every day, but it really jazzes me. And I appreciate, again, you making the time. So Danny, jumping right into your first question here, can you share your story behind the creation of EFX ALGO and how did you end up working on it?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, first, thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm super excited for this. Again, my name is Danny Reardon, initially from Boston, currently living in North Carolina. I've been a day trader, a manual day trader for years, coming up on 6 years now. And initially, EFX started as a coaching and educational platform. And over the years, I started dabbling with different automated trading systems and, never found one that was reliable or anything that I could, I felt comfortable using with real money. And also they all needed some level of human involvement. So I started just going down the path of, why not just, create my own and leverage my years of day trading experience and automate my trading activities. So, unlike most automated trading systems that I mentioned that require a level of management, I also wanted to have something that would be fully automated, meaning, 100% hands-free and didn't need any intervention from a human. It could just press start and go. And I knew that was going to be challenging, but I ended up teaming up with some very skilled developers and we got to work. And over the last several years, we fine-tuned it. We optimized the software, a lot of back testing, forward testing. And after about 2 years of development and testing, we were able to produce an automated trading software that was a first of its kind, and for 2 reasons. One, it was able to employ 8 different trading strategies at the same time, all within one software. And again, we were also able to do this hands-free, which made it able to perform in any market condition consistently. And to date, we have a 2-year track record, and we just broke the 120% gain mark yesterday, actually. And, we never had plans to sell it, which was really interesting enough because it was just something I planned on using in the background to produce a passive source of income. And I wanted it to be truly passive. That's why I was really, really kind of honed in on making this thing fully automated so it didn't interfere with anything else that I was doing. And then members inside of our educational platform got wind of it. And of course, it sparked a lot of interest. They started asking a lot of questions about it. They saw it as a way that, they could make money while they're learning how to trade, because that can take some time. And we made the decision to release it to our just existing client base. And we got some amazing feedback. People were blown away with the results and they loved how it was, completely automated. They didn't need to do anything with it. They didn't have to figure out any settings. And they were able to do that while they're learning to trade. And that is what ultimately led us to where we are today and making the decision to have it become available to everyone. And currently we have around 350 users all running the software, and it's managing right around 22 million in capital.
Really love that story, Danny. That's awesome. And it's funny how those things worked, right? Sometimes you're just trying to do something to help yourself. At the end of the day, you're trying to create a solution for maybe a problem, right? And it kind of caught wind and took off like wildfire. So I do really love the story here. And you bet. Danny, what were some of the early challenges you faced when entering the world of financial trading and how did you overcome them?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting you just brought that up too, because I got into the world of trading initially to solve another personal problem, given, my background and, bad credit. And I was always working, I wouldn't say dead end jobs, but I was working, jobs that didn't really have income, potential to scale. I was in the trades for most of my life. And, when I first got started in the world of financial trading, I was juggling a full-time job as a commercial painter, working 6, 7 days a week. Most days were anywhere from 8 to 10 hours, trying to clock that overtime pay. And, living paycheck to paycheck and with a full-time job. And my girlfriend was pregnant at the time, which was a main reason why I got into trading, because I knew my commercial painting job wasn't going to hack it. I was presented with probably the two biggest that stand out to me that I think most people are going to relate to was the scarcity of time and the lack of capital. So time was just simply not a luxury I could afford. It was a big hurdle trying to juggle the demands of the day job and, OSHA breathing down my neck. I couldn't even be on my cell phone while I'm operating heavy equipment as we're doing, big buildings downtown, spraying the outside of them. And then, the demands of trying to figure out the day trading thing. So obviously trading requires a lot of experience, education, analysis. You have to constantly be looking at market trends and watching price action, and you have to make quick decisions, all of which just demanded a lot of time and attention. So what I did was I just really structured my days thoroughly, and I squeezed every available moment for research and analysis and education. I used to take the train to and from work because I didn't even have a license at the time, let alone own a car. So I had an hour commute there, an hour commute back. So any type of window like that, I was squeezing in, time where I could, check out the charts, watch, some educational content, that with late nights and even lunch breaks were just windows I used for, analyzing the markets and, refining my strategies. So I learned to really prioritize my tasks efficiently and to optimize just about every spare moment I had to move me forward with my trading. And the second challenge, lack of capital, obviously posed a big barrier to entry. I mean, when we're talking day trading, you need capital to play in this game, and living to paycheck with very poor credit at the time from some bad decisions in the past. I obviously couldn't dip into my savings, or I couldn't just go get a loan. I'd get denied just about anywhere I went. So I needed to get creative, and I looked for alternative ways that I could secure capital. So once I established a track record, I that's just all I really focused on, building that resume, building that portfolio. And then I started leveraging my network. I would reach out to, friends, my family, anyone that I thought might be on board, until I finally did connect with people willing to invest, who shared the vision and, were able to provide me with financial backing that I needed. So that was the big thing that I did for that one, in addition to, which is a very popular one today, which was just starting when I got started in the trading space, which are prop firms. Essentially, these are firms that will provide traders capital for a profit share once you show that you're a profitable trader. So leveraging my trading skills to secure funding rather than my financial standing. So once I was able to show, how dedicated and good I was at trading and, a history of making money on a regular basis, I was able to solve that problem, with investors that I was able to invest and, build a portfolio with prop firms. And now I'm just under 8 figures in portfolio that I'm managing today.
That's awesome. Love it. And there's always a motivation behind an action. And I get it. Obviously, having a new child is a big motivator. I think we've all been there. So I appreciate the share, Danny. And Danny, can you briefly let's talk about your software offers customizable settings to cater to varying risk appetites. Can you discuss how users can navigate these options to align with their investment goals?
Sure. So, with most automated trading software, when you get them out of box, they require a lot of testing because most of them won't give you settings that are able to just produce consistent results. For most part, you have to figure that out yourself, and you got to figure out the different risk tolerance that, or the risk settings that align with your tolerance. So we basically wanted to make something super user friendly. So ours out of box is completely optimized for performance, meaning like somebody new doesn't have to come in and figure out all of these different settings and lot sizes and all of these different parameters in order for this thing to perform align with their goals and their risk tolerance. So out of box, we made it really simple where you can select conservative, moderate, or aggressive. Now, each one of these risk profiles has a range. So there's essentially two components to every risk profile. One being the amount of risk or drawdown, the average drawdown. That's basically your floating P&L that risk profile would endure. And then on the flip side, the average return that would produce. So for example, our aggressive risk profile can average anywhere 5 to 10% in drawdown, which is really good in the world of automated trading. And it's able to produce on average 5 to 8% a month in gains. And then moderate and conservative, they are just lower in steps. But essentially, we kind of outline exactly what the risk is involved with each risk profile, what they can expect to experience on the risk side of things, the drawdown side of things, and what that would produce. So it's very straightforward. It's, figure out what the numbers are for each, which aligns best with your risk tolerance and your goals, and you select it and press start and you're off to the races.
Love that. And especially nowadays, I think everything is being more and more automated with the introduction of AI, obviously, and all these different apps. But I really do appreciate that. It really takes a lot of the brains out of, trying to figure out trading, because I know that can be hard if you don't have a lot of experience and that learning curve, as you talked about earlier. So thank you. And Danny, last question of the day, if you could briefly, looking into the future, how do you see EFX Algo evolving? And are there any new features or expansions planned to enhance user experience or accessibility?
Yeah, so this question I love answering, because what we really do, and something that we really pride ourselves on, is a world-class client experience. So what we do frequently is we send out questionnaires and we try to collect a lot of feedback from our clients who are currently using this software. And then with that feedback, we make a lot of our decisions. So for example, we just recently sent one out, I think about 2 weeks ago, and the overwhelming response to it, surprisingly enough, was we would want something that is capable of higher gains, surprise, surprise, and that they would be perfectly okay taking on more risk to do so. When we first initially started developing the software, capital preservation and risk management were at the front. That was probably the most important thing, because we wanted this to be able to perform. Even like this year, we have an election year. We wanted any economic event that's happening that could affect the markets. We wanted this to perform. So that was always at the forefront when we developed this software. So we were very surprised to see a bunch of seasoned investors say we're perfectly okay with taking on more risk for potential more rewards. So right now we're in the works of developing a fourth risk profile that we're going to dub as Ultra, that would be capable of producing 8 to 12% on average a month, which obviously that would be introducing higher levels of risk and drawdown. So that's one thing that we're currently in development. And then another thing that we're also looking at doing, based on a lot of the feedback we just received as well, is something that can, an automated trading system for the stock market. So we're currently doing research and we're getting that into development. So those are probably the two big things that we're focusing on right now, other than just always kind of maintenance updates and, keeping our software up to date and, any optimizations. So those are the main focuses right now for the software moving into the future.
Thank you. And I appreciate you highlighting those things. Obviously, we want to always have continual improvement with the product or platform that we're providing to the end users to improve that customer experience, obviously. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And Danny, it was such a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Likewise. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Bye for now.